Diamonds aren't rare. That's not an opinion, it's a geological fact. But for over a century, we've been sold a fantasy. A marketing myth so powerful, it convinced the world to equate love with carbon. This isn't just about jewellery, it's about monopolies, war zones, child labour, and the lie at the heart of the most successful ad campaign in history. This is the story of the stone that sold the world. Let's rewind to the late 1800s, South Africa. Vast deposits of diamonds are discovered, and suddenly the global supply explodes. Enter Cecil Rhodes, a British imperialist who saw diamonds not as gems, but as power. He and his successors consolidated every major mine into a single company, De Beers Consolidated Mines. Their goal? Control the supply, because diamonds, despite their shimmer, are geologically common. Formed deep within Earth's mantle and carried to the surface via volcanic pipes, nature produced plenty of them. So De Beers stockpiled them, released them slowly, manipulated scarcity, created a false economy. Then came their masterstroke. In 1947, ad agency NWA created a phrase that would change everything. A diamond is forever. It was simple, elegant, and devastatingly effective. The campaign sold not a product, but a narrative, that love must be eternal, and that eternity must be marked with a diamond. The result? A cultural tidal wave. Engagement rings, once modest and varied, became synonymous with diamonds across the West. By the 1950s, 80% of American engagement rings involved a diamond. Tradition? No, this was manufactured tradition. Made in a boardroom, sold through cinema, and reinforced with every celebrity wedding and shopping centre jewellery ad. Here's the uncomfortable truth. That sparkle often comes with blood on it. Throughout the late 20th century, diamonds financed brutal conflicts. In Sierra Leone, Angola, and the Democratic Republic of Congo, armed groups seized diamond mines and forced civilians, often children, to mine under duress. The stones were smuggled and sold to fund weapons. This is where we get the term blood diamonds or conflict diamonds. Estimates suggest these conflicts killed over 3.7 million people. Diamonds weren't just a luxury, they were a catalyst for violence. The global response was the Kimberley Process Certification Scheme, created in 2003 to regulate diamond origins. But critics say it's riddled with loopholes. It doesn't cover human rights abuses, only whether a diamond directly funded a rebel conflict. Which means a diamond mined with child labour under hazardous conditions or in an authoritarian regime can still be certified clean. And yes, child labour is very much alive in the diamond supply chain. In India, where 90% of the world's diamonds are cut and polished, children as young as 10 years old are still reported polishing stones for a fraction of 1% of their retail value. Mining also exacts an ecological toll. Extracting a single carat of diamond can move over 200 tons of earth, causing deforestation, soil erosion, and contamination of water sources. The human and environmental costs aren't side effects, they're built into the business model. In a world this broken, science stepped in with a solution: lab-grown diamonds. These aren't imitations, they're real diamonds, chemically and physically identical to mined ones. They're made using high pressure, high temperature, or chemical vapor deposition, replicating the same conditions found deep underground, just in a lab, not a volcano. They don't fund wars, they don't require child labour, they use a fraction of the land and energy, and they cost 20 to 40% less. For younger generations who are more environmentally conscious and economically cautious, this is a revelation. Lab-grown diamonds align with their values: sustainability, transparency, and ethics. And for an industry built on illusion, that's terrifying. De Beers, which once ran smear campaigns suggesting lab-grown diamonds were fake, eventually caved and launched Lightbox, their own lab-grown diamond line. Ironic, since they spent decades saying synthetic gems were inferior. Now they sell them at flat rates, deliberately underpricing them to preserve the illusion of mined diamonds' superiority. But the illusion is fading. So what's a diamond really worth? Not its rarity because it's not rare. Not its purity because it's often stained with conflict. Not even its tradition, because that tradition was made up in 1947. A diamond is worth what we agree it's worth. It's a story, a symbol, a myth, one that was bought, sold, and branded into our culture. But stories can change, they evolve, and the new generation isn't buying the old one. So next time you see a diamond ad claiming forever, ask yourself, forever for whom? The couple, the cartel, or the lie? Because maybe the most priceless thing you can give someone isn't a rock, it's the truth. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.